Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you clicking that video as usual. I also appreciate all the support, all the new subscribers, the likes, the comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support. Today's video is centered on fragrances that are going to start a conversation, attention-grabbing fragrances. I was actually tagged by Grown Man Style. He has his own YouTube channel. Be sure to check him out. I picked 6 fragrances, and all of these are going to be, I think, unique in their own way, but also possibly a bit polarizing. A couple of them a bit polarizing, but if you want attention, that's part of it. You're gonna have to smell different than everyone else, and you can't be smelling the same as everyone else. If you smell like everybody else, you're just gonna blend in. So let's get into the list. Man, I really love this first one. I actually lucked out. I got super lucky. I found this at a Burlington last summer for $12.99, and this scent is incredible. First spray, I was like, wow. I had researched it a bit prior to picking it up. I had seen it at Burlington and I passed on it a couple times. Then I saw it for $12.99. I was like, I gotta grab it. That deal is ridiculous. So I grabbed a bottle. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I saw a second bottle. I grabbed that. I've since sold that bottle. I'm upset. I wish I had kept it as a backup because I'm seeing the prices go through the roof now on this. But the scent I'm talking about, John Varvatos Dark Rebel. So I really love this bottle. It has this sort of rubberized black sort of wrap to it. It's almost like wicker furniture. I love all black bottles. I think this is no exception to that. It's beautiful, nice heavy cap. Atomizer is all black. So yeah, you got John Varvatos Dark Rebel up top there, underneath the atomizer. So beautiful presentation. I love this bottle, but let's get into the smell. Man, so right off the bat, I get a woody, sweet rum smell, boozy. And just within 10, 15 seconds, I start to get the leather. Just a beautiful scent. This scent is gonna get you attention. This is not for the high school kids. This is something that, you have to dress the part when you're wearing this scent. I don't picture this scent with like wearing a sweater or khakis or something like that. You are wearing some nice leather boots, jeans, leather jacket. This scent is definitely leans towards like the bad boy style. It's dark, it's smoky, it's sweet, it's boozy. It's a bit animalic from the castoreum in here, and it works perfectly. It's beautiful. Love this scent. Like I said, I picked this up in the summer and I couldn't wait to wear it. It's not a summer scent. You definitely want to hold off until the cooler months, fall, winter. But right now, wintertime, it's perfect. I've already worn it a few times and it gets me attention for sure. I get compliments from it. And like I said, it's more than just what you're wearing from a fragrance standpoint. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you present yourself. That's what's gonna get you attention. As it starts to dry down, this gets a bit sweeter. It gets sweeter on my skin as well. That's probably the vanilla that starts to come out. There's also sugar cane up top. This is just go buy this. If you don't consider your style like super preppy, or you're kind of you consider yourself a bad boy, definitely try John Varvatos Dark Rebel, because it doesn't get much more bad boy than this one. Now, typical criticism of all John Varvatos fragrances is that they do not last. Their longevity is terrible. I would say that I own 3 other John Varvatos fragrances, actually 4, because I picked up a cheapie the other day. That's another video coming soon. But Dark Rebel is probably the second best performer, if not the best performer out of the ones I own. Artisan Pure, great performer. Dark Rebel, it's right there. So this is a decent performer. I get about 6 or 7 hours on my skin. It projects really well for the first hour. It's not a huge projector like you would expect it to be based on some of the notes, but like I said, you're still gonna get attention. If someone is within arm's reach of you, they're gonna smell you and they're gonna think it smells incredible. They're gonna be like, what are you wearing? This is something different. Just a beautiful scent. I love this one. John Varvatos Dark Rebel. So this next scent is one of those ones that I said it could be polarizing, and that's, I think, the truth. This scent is, on first spray, it could lean a bit feminine, but as it dries down, some of that amber starts to come out. It starts to be much more unisex. I think this smells great. It's grown on me since I've owned it. I've had it in my collection for a few weeks now, and I've been trying it out, and it is one of those scents that is absolutely gonna start a conversation. 100%. And again, to start a conversation based on the fragrance you're wearing, you're gonna have to be open to people coming up to you. So part of that is your personality. and a scent is rarely going to just get you comments and compliments. Polarizing scent nonetheless. I think this is a good one. Scent I'm talking about. Bond number 9, New York Amber. So one of the reasons why this one comes across as feminine up top is because it has a lot of rose. That rose is really dominating in the first part of this fragrance. But you also get some spiciness from the saffron and the nutmeg in here. And I pick up on that right away. And that sort of begins to settle down that rose. It begins to blend. This is blended really well, this fragrance. Believe it or not, despite the name, I don't get a ton of amber out of this. I get way more amber out of another one on the list. Performance on this, it's a bomb. This thing will last you all day. Projection is fantastic. 2-3 hours of projection, bomb of a fragrance. Performance is not an issue. So for that reason alone, you're gonna project a couple sprays of this, you're gonna get a ton of attention. People are gonna be able to smell you. They're gonna ask you what you're wearing. And again, this is gonna take a confident guy to pull off. This is not for everyone. This is not blind buy safe. You need to try this first. But once this does start to settle down, some of that rose sort of doesn't take a backseat. The rose remains, but it's just not as overpowering. That oud starts to move in, and it's sort of a medicinal oud. It really locks the fragrance in. It rounds it out. Along with the sandalwood and benzoin in here, you have some jasmine. Beautiful. This scent, if you want to start a conversation, this is going to do it. The oud rose combination in here, it has a sort of Middle Eastern vibe to it. The most dominating notes in this, rose, oud, saffron, nutmeg, and that benzoin as it dries down along with the sandalwood. Awesome. I beg of you, give this one time. If you do pick it up, get a decant of it, try it on your skin, wear it out. This gets better as it's on your skin. As it dries down, it gets better. So sillage is beautiful on this. You're gonna have a great sillage. People are gonna be able to smell you walking by. This is gonna start a conversation. Bond number 9, New York Amber. So this next one is one of my favorite pickups this year. It is a flanker of a long line of super hyped fragrances from this house. And this, I've smelled a couple. This is my favorite of the 2 that I've smelled. I definitely want to try a couple other flankers from this line, but right now I'm in love with this one. Scent I'm talking about. L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum from Guerlain. So the first smell, I get cherry, sweetness, and that almond. That almond is sort of a staple of this line, and it rounds everything out. It gives a nuttiness to the fragrance. On skin, this is way more gourmandy to my nose. Although as it dries it down, and it doesn't take long for that leather to start to come in, and almost like a bit of a smokiness, and that leather settles down some of that sweetness and makes this more of a well-rounded fragrance. It's not overly sweet. The cherry is really beautiful. The cherry sticks around. I love it. I actually did a first impressions of this, and you can see based on my expression in that video, I will link it here. It is wonderful. And you know, this, like I said, this one gets a lot of hype. So there's a risk of being underwhelmed when you smell it, but I was not. And that's not typically the case for me. Usually I am underwhelmed based on all the hype and all the hype beasts that will push a certain fragrance, and you smell it and it's okay. It's beautiful, but it's not what I was expecting. This did not let me down. Sweet cherry, vanilla, almond. I mean, and with some leather to sort of make it lean more masculine. The extreme version of this is the other one I smelled, and I love it. I like it, but it doesn't, that particular fragrance to me leans more feminine than this one. So, but this leans more gourmandy, if that makes sense. Just a really great scent. I get decent longevity from this. I get about 7 or 8 hours. Projection's good for the first hour, but this is closer to a skin scent. People that are gonna be smelling this are gonna be close to you, sort of in your sort of space, your scent bubble. But this just keeps getting better as it dries down. I recommend this fragrance to anybody. This is a totally safe blind buy. L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. So if you want a conversation starter fragrance, you need a fragrance that's gonna stand out from what everyone else is wearing in the club, at the party, wherever you are, wherever you plan on wearing your fragrance. You're gonna need something different than everyone else. The Dior Sauvages, the Dylan Blues. And although within the community, this next fragrance is popular, or at least this is a clone of that popular fragrance. But to me, this one actually stands on its own. And I have a decant of the one that it's actually a clone of, and I have a decant of this. I ended up buying a bottle of this fragrance I'm talking about. Royal Equestrian from Alexandria Fragrances. So on first spray, the first thing I pick up is that apple. It's a fresh off the branch apple. It's super realistic smelling. I love it. Then you start to get that vanilla. So it's fruity, it's a bit spicy, and that apple up top. This is obviously a clone of Parfums de Marly's Leighton. I love that fragrance too, but when I had them side by side, there was just something about this one that, I don't know, it was just a bit more appealing to me. And this one I found also has, believe it or not, better longevity and also better projection. So, and Leighton is great on its own. And this wasn't even necessarily a money decision, but this is way cheaper. I think you can get this for 45 bucks or so. I'll make sure I link it in the description, but this is just a great scent and you're gonna smell differently than pretty much everyone else. I can guarantee you no one probably at that party that you're going to is gonna be wearing Alexandria's Royal Equestrian. Fresh, vanilla, warm and spicy. This is an all-season fragrance. The only time I would say be cautious of the number of sprays is like dead of summer, super hot days, but for the most part, this one is gonna start that conversation. People are gonna think you smell fantastic and it's gonna get you attention. It's gonna bring you a lot of positive attention. The greenness from the apple, citrus is up top. You have some geranium, which gives you sort of that almost like a cooling menthol effect, but it's that fades pretty quickly. And then that vanilla, those spices, woody notes, and amber come out beautiful. Great, everyday, signature scent type stuff here. You are gonna smell different than most. Alexandria's Royal Equestrian. So this next scent was a blind buy. I grabbed it at TJ Maxx for 30 bucks. Absolute steal for this scent, and I fell in love with it the second I smelled it. This is right up my alley from a fragrance standpoint. You're gonna get attention from this. You're gonna get positive attention, most likely. This isn't as polarizing as like a Bond No. 9 or even a John Varvatos Doc Rebel. This one, again, is gonna have you smelling unique enough to start a conversation, have someone smell you and be like, what are you wearing? Scent I'm talking about. Serge Lutens, Ambre Sultan. Right off the top, you get that syrupy sort of amber, balsamic sweet, that type of sweet, balsamic sweet, not overly cloyingly sweet, really rich. As it starts to settle in, you get some of the spiciness. It's warm, vanilla, booziness almost. It's that resinous type of amber, rich, dense, syrupy amber. And you pick up those spices as it starts to dry down. But the big player here is the amber and the benzoin and the vanilla. It's resinous, it's boozy, it's beautiful. This lasts all day. You are gonna catch wafts of this smell. You're gonna smell this all day on yourself. So great longevity, projection's really good for the first hour and a half or so. And then it begins to get closer to the skin, but whoever's lucky enough to be close to you is gonna love this. Absolutely beautiful. I'm realizing now there's two niche fragrances on this list. And sometimes that's what niche does really well, is it separates itself from what is that typical sort of middle of the mall smell, is what I like to refer to it as. It's got that classic walk into Macy's and you basically smell what pretty much every guy smells like. So these are all gonna separate themselves from that. And if you're trying to start a conversation with someone or trying to garner that attention, you're gonna have to smell different than everybody. Just a beautiful scent. Serge Lutens, Ambre Sultan. So this last one, I had to get a blue scent in there, right? It had to be done, but I think this one separates itself from all the other blue scents. Although it gets compared to one of the most popular blue scents, maybe the most popular blue scent, I still think this one actually is unique. And I get the comparison to that one, but I think that this goes in another direction, and I love this one. This is my favorite blue fragrance by far. It's not even close. This one is excellent. It's super underrated in my opinion, although it seems like more people are beginning to catch on and talk about this one a bit more. Scent I'm talking about. Missoni's Parfum pour Homme. I also want to point out the presentation on this one. The cap is beautiful. You have sort of that triangular design on the cap. And it's also magnetic. I mean, come on. Attention to detail. Beautiful bottle. It's almost like a green looking juice, which is probably hard to see in this light, but it's a tannish brown bottle. The gold label. Man, cool bottle. Quick side note, my daughter just came in while I was testing the Missoni, and she brought me in a little bunny. So I thought that was pretty cool. Maybe I can put that on my jacket. It's a patch. Yeah, so this, like I said, Missoni really stands out on it. It gets compared to Bleu de Chanel. I get some of that. This doesn't have an incensey, smoky note to it, but immediately there goes my bunny. Immediately I pick up on the grapefruit and the lemon up top. So that's citrus, but also the sweetness from the lavender. This is a sweet fragrance on first spray. I wouldn't say it's too sweet. As it begins to settle, I get some of the apple, ginger that makes up the heart of this, and jasmine. But the main notes in this, like I said, is that sort of sweet citrus lavender combo up top, along with the ginger and apple. And then it dries down into this sort of beautiful musk sandalwood. It's just an awesome scent. This is one of my most complimented scents. Again, it's considered, I would say, I would lump it into that category of mass appealing blue fragrances. But of all the blue fragrances, this one is a bit unique. I think it's just really well blended. It has just the right amount of sweetness, and it's just a compliment getter. You can wear this. This is a signature scent. You can wear this in any situation, casually, dressed up. It's going to work in every situation. Longevity and performance are really good on this. I get maybe 9 to 10 hours of longevity. This is one that if you spray on your clothes, you're going to be able to smell it a day later. Projection's really excellent for the first 2 hours. People are going to be asking you what you're wearing. They're going to give you outright compliments and say, you smell great. What is that? I will say I've had this mistaken for, I'm assuming Sauvage. People will say to me, is that Dior? Is that Dior that you're wearing? I love that. Actually, no, it's Missoni, which most people haven't heard of before. But I always tell people, definitely check it out if you have a boyfriend or husband that you're looking to buy for. This one is going to work for everyone. My favorite blue fragrance of all of them. And I use a lot of this stuff. And this is sort of a dumb reach for me. Just a great scent. It's going to start a conversation for you. It's going to get you positive attention. Missoni's Parfum pour Homme. So those are the 6 I have today. Conversation starters, attention-grabbing fragrances. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you guys are updated when I upload new content. But for now, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. I'm just upset my bunny fell off.